Hello and welcome back to the woods at Lone Pine Tarot. I hope you're having a peaceful day or night wherever you are. For today's reading, I was inspired by the image of someone walking through a dimly lit path in the woods, a bit unsure, perhaps even scared of the surrounding shadows. But then a golden glow appeared and a spirit guide came forward from the mist with a light in hand to give to the viewer to help make their journey feel easier and safer. So perhaps when I saw that image, I was picking up on that a lot of you have been maybe feeling that lack of certainty or fear lately, and I always follow my intuition, hence today's topic. We're delving into a helpful secret that your spirit guides want you to know, aka the very shard of wisdom that will act as that light to help guide your way with greater surety. Before we unveil it though, let's look at your choices for piles. Over here on the left for pile 1, your pile leader is Lake. In the middle for pile 2, your pile leader is Bridge. And on the right for pile 3, your pile leader is Candle. Pause here if you need an extra moment to decide, but when you're ready, your timestamp is waiting in the description. I'll see you in your reading. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome to your helpful secret reading. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the beautiful lake card for your pile leader. So we're going to start your reading by putting that over here and drawing a combination of both some tarot cards as well as another oracle card, just to get some more context from your spirit guides as to what part of your life this secret is related to. So speaking of spirit guides for pile 1, could you tell me a little bit more about this secret you want them to know? Can you tell me more of the context? What era of their life is it related to? Where is it stemming from? Thank you. Okay, this one very prominently was the first one that drew my eye. We have the 5 of Swords as your first card. Your second card today is the 3 of Cups. Okay, very clear picture is forming here, pile 1. We'll talk about this more in a second after I draw the final 2 cards. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. A little bit of a twist there, but let's see what the 4th card says for sure. Then we have the 10 of Swords reversed. Okay, so pile 1. Right off the bat, based on these cards, your spirit guides are reaching out to you today with a secret that's related to a situation where either in the recent past, in your present, or perhaps in the near future, there has been a conflict of some sort. I say that because the very first card you got was the 5 of Swords. As you can see, there's a figure here with 2 others less prominent in the background. He has won the battle. He's got all the swords. They dropped their swords, and they're kind of walking away wounded. They lost the fight. And the 5 of Swords, as in, say, comparison to, say, the 5 of Wands, is more of a harsh conflict. It's especially too focused on when we've had a verbal battle of some sort because of the element of air that's associated with the sword suit in tarot. So, as I said, recent past, present, or the near future that maybe you can kind of see coming along the road. Maybe that's that fear I talked about in the intro. Is like maybe some of you have been feeling kind of scared of something lately or uncertain. That might be exactly what it's talking about, or what your spirit guides are referring to, is that verbal or harsh conflict. And specifically because of the 3 of Cups is the next card. As I said, I can kind of see the picture for me here. Remember I said that? The 3 of Cups is about a social group of some sort. So that can mean literally like a friend group of yours, or it can mean a social group in terms of, like, say, your workplace or your family. Whatever or however that feels relevant or how it resonates with you. It's some sort of group situation. It could even have been specifically a social event that has already come to pass or that you know is coming in the near future that you're kind of afraid or uncertain about. As the 3 of Cups can mean not just groups of people, but specific points in time where social activity is the king or like the reason for whatever's going on. Okay? And then on top of that, we had that twist with the Ace of Pentacles reversed. And I want to kind of combine that combination of the meaning of that card with the 10 of Swords reversed at the very end. So the Ace of Pentacles reversed is often a card of opportunities denied, specifically when it comes to work and finances and resources because of the earth element with Pentacles, okay? And the Ten of Swords reversed is a card of we have felt betrayed or backstabbed in some way, or we have at least felt at our very lowest in some way, just like this figure here laying down. Although he's reversed, he's upside down right now because of that, but you can see he's way down in his luck. There's 10 swords in his back. He feels completely defeated. However, the beauty of that card is recovery from defeat. It wasn't the end. It wasn't the utmost low that he perceived it would be. It means there's a period of time coming where we can pick up and move on pretty, I'm not going to say like completely unharmed from this thing that occurred that brought him to that point, but at least he's able to carry on. It's not the end. All right. So if it's in the recent past, or I guess even if it's in the present or in the near future, and you can kind of see it coming, pile one, basically to summarize, this might be, just as an example, say, there was like a workplace situation going on with like, there's been verbal battles or people kind of fighting over things, and it's been kind of a social hierarchy problem. And that, say, there might be like a promotion, as an example of like the Ace of Pentacles, that was like denied to you, or you're afraid that it's going to be denied to you. Therefore, maybe you're afraid of betrayal by these other people who are clamoring for that spot on the, so to speak, social ladder there, or like the career ladder there, or you feel as if you're going to be backstabbed, or like they're going to leave you in the dust and they're going to do whatever they can to take that opportunity. Now, that's just an example, just to illustrate what I mean with these first 4 cards in a tangible way. It might resonate with you and everything I've described with these cards differently. So just apply that to your situation in the way that I described it. But that is just the example I'm using. Either way, the very good news I want to share with you is that your spirit guides are reaching out with this helpful secret, because they're basically telling you, through the beauty of the Ten of Swords reversed, it's not the end. So if this happened in the recent past, take a breath, it's going to be okay. Not all is lost. That's the beauty of that Ten of Swords reversed, as I said. If this is a present thing, once again, very similar to the past, it's going to be okay. It's not the end. And if you're fearing this in the future, same thing, I won't repeat it. It's going to be fine, pile one. But let's keep going with the other cards. We do have another oracle deck to pull as well as your main tarot spread. But the secret they basically, to summarize, want to share with you is that what looks like all is lost really is not. And that's actually quite resonant with your lake pile leader that you chose today. I didn't even talk about that yet, because in this oracle, the lake represents either progress or wanting to like dive into something. And right now you might kind of feel like that figure on the side of the lake, feeling as if your progress has been kind of stalled. Like, do I dive in? Do I wait? Do I wait for this thing to clear, especially if it's already happened? Or do I just go right into it? Do I just dive right into it? It's also a card about reflections, because as we all know, when water does come up, naturally water is a symbol of reflecting upon things. And maybe you're kind of wondering too, like, are the actions of these people, do they reflect poorly upon me? How does this reflect on me and my situation? So there might be a little bit of a knocked self-confidence, or like a knocked self-esteem here, based on the thing that either already happened or currently is, or as I said, you're fearing that it's going to happen here in the near future. Okay. So, no wonder why. If you're resonating with that, and I said in the intro, I'm like, are some of you really kind of unsure and certain, kind of fearful lately? No wonder why you might be feeling that, and I picked up on it. And we have beautiful blossom, and that's actually on top of the Ten of Swords reversed, a really positive message, pile one, because blossom, as we all know, is the period of time when something goes from slow growth to finally it blooms. And on top of that, it almost looks like a mentor or a parent figure here, handing a star to a younger, or like a student figure here. Especially if you are in a work situation and you really resonated with what I said about, like, maybe there's like been a promotion that you think other people have backstabbed you for, or like, oh, I'm never going to get it because they betrayed me or they sabotaged me. I almost wonder if the mentor or manager, whoever is the power figure involved in this situation, pile one, I almost wonder if they kind of already know that this wasn't really fair, and like they already know that some shady stuff was going on. And I think you stand out specifically as like they know you're the person that didn't partake in those bad activities, or like in that sabotage behavior, which makes you all the more stand out, because I'm really drawn to the way that she's got this star in her hand. That's what she's passing down to the daughter there, or the student figure. Like, I pass this down to you, now it's your turn to blossom, something along those lines. And it's just a beautiful card in general. I mean, the whole deck. I always say it when I use this deck. All my decks I really love, don't get me wrong. That particular deck is gorgeous. Yeah, it's like blossoming, things finally coming to fruition. And also like the blossoming of your hopes or your goals with this situation, even though right now it might seem like all is lost. And, oh, you know, I just noticed that too. Well, now I feel dumb. Pile 1, do you see here how the Ace of Pentacles, especially when you look at it upright, it looks like a hand holding a star, or, well, it's a pentagram, right? Or a pentacle. It's a star holding, or sorry, a hand holding a star, handing it to the right, which you think was denied, or it felt like it was denied. And look what's happening here. She's handing a star to the right down to that figure, the daughter / the student. Yes, so the opportunity that you thought was denied, or that you thought you will be denied, will not be denied, and the star, or the pentacle, so to speak, or the opportunity will be passed to you. That's the secret so far that I'm hearing from your spirit guides today. I'm going to get just one more card of clarity on that blossom, though. Spirit guides, tell me more about the blossom and the thing being passed down. What's blossoming here? Thank you. A breakthrough. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so before we had that new energy blocked because of the Ace of Pentacles being reversed, but now we have new energy in the form of the Ace of Swords upright. It's a breakthrough, Pile 1. It's the ability for you to finally cut through something that was confusing before. Also, it's a really good card in terms of, you say maybe the issue was that you put forward a new idea and you were afraid it's going to get rejected. Well, Ace of Swords upright especially is a really good card in terms of new ideas being accepted because of its air element association. So I don't know, looks pretty good to me, Pile 1, on that. It's a blossoming of new ideas. It's a blossoming of, as I said, breakthroughs. It's a blossoming of things finally, especially too because of the element of air. It also cuts away confusion. So on top of that, it might not just make it clear as in like you're going to get the thing that you've been working for, or like this thing is going to blossom, but it's going to make all the more sense, whereas right now things kind of feel misty and chaotic and just they don't make any sense. And no wonder why you've been kind of unsure and worried, because you're like, I don't know. Maybe a lot of that chaotic energy and that mist energy I've been feeling too was because of, I almost see it's like these other people like stirred up dust, like they kicked up dust or they played dirty, like I don't know, maybe I've read too many fantasy books, but like a common dirty trick with fighting, at least in fantasy books, is like instead of doing the honorable thing and fighting with your sword or whatever weapon you're using or magic, depending on the fantasy book you're reading, like people will play dirty and they'll like kick dirt up into their enemy's face, kind of like it's not the honorable thing to do. So I feel like it's like these other people have been kicking up that dirt, kicking up that mist. They've been making it really confusing, but especially if there's, as I said, a power figure involved here with the, as I said, with the Blossom card, they're going to see through that crap really easily, and they're going to know, Pile 1, that you're not the one that stirred up the crap. They're going to know that you're not the one that stirred up the problems. You're not the one that betrayed anybody or backstabbed anybody. So just, I guess the secret really is kind of a reassurance today from your spirit guides, which is always good to hear, right? Okay, spirit guides, what else do you want to say about the secret you want them to know today, or the helpful secret? Thank you. Still getting used to shuffling this deck. It's just today I got it, so if my shuffling's a little poor, forgive me. I'm still getting used to the handle of it. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, okay? So that might mean, especially as the first card, that the main dust stirrer, to speak, in the situation was feminine energy. It tends to be, you know, more, I'd say, middle-aged to older, and probably is an earth sign or has a lot of earth sign placements, or they're related to a job or the way that you make your money, or like finances and stability, because of, well, stones is technically pentacles. It's that earth energy, okay, Pile 1. And or in general, it can mean a time in our lives where we're struggling in terms of our self-worth regarding our jobs. So I wonder if these people have been saying things that have been knocking you down in terms, as I said, you know, before, like maybe your self-confidence has been kind of knocked, your self-esteem, especially related to your job. That can be a really good way of explaining what the Queen of Pentacles reversed means if it's not a person. Okay, so let's keep going. We have... next, Strength reversed. Yep, feeling like we don't have the power to wrangle the obstacles in our way. Feeling like we have no power. We're powerless in the situation. It feels like everyone else has the power and we're just completely helpless. So that's another emotion I'm seeing kind of coming into this situation that your spirit guides are pointing out. And then your present card is Beautiful. We have the Five of Tides, which is cups in most decks, reversed. And in reversed position, it is technically positive. It's just like how the Ten of Swords reversed is technically positive, pile 1. Because what it means is, what normally upright it would be like, oh, there's a hardship, there's a sadness. Reversed, it's we're overcoming that time of sadness. So once again, I'm sorry it's repetitive, but it's a good repetition, pile 1. We're being told by your spirit guides, this struggle is very soon in here in your present. This is your present card to be over with. Okay, so either it's like you'll recover just fine from what these people were doing, the person in power is going to know what they were doing and they're not going to hold it against you, and or if this is something you're fearing in the near future, like it hasn't come to pass yet, you might even avoid the problem entirely. Like if you're just in the phase of fearing it but it hasn't technically happened yet, that Five of Cups reversed means it's going to be okay. You're going to overcome the hardship, or if it does happen still, it doesn't mean... It's kind of like with when I interpret it for like the past or like the present people that resonate with this reading in that way, even if it comes to pass, water off of a duck's back, you're going to be fine. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then your near future or your advice card, we have the Three of, that is the Three of Swords reversed. Okay, it took me a second, once again, a new deck, so I was like, what spires? Swords. So the Three of Swords reversed is also very positive. It's just like the Five of Cups reversed, pile 1, where it is negative, usually upright, but reversed, it inverts that. So upright, it would mean heartbreak. Reversed, we're overcoming a time of heartbreak. We're overcoming a time of pain. You know, I'm just going to repeat it again, but your spirit guides are emphasizing this. I think, oftentimes I see that in tarot readings when something is repeated a lot, it's mostly because your spirit guides know that you might not believe it. So they're like, okay, we have to keep reiterating this with synchronicity and repeated messages so that like, we really mean it, it's going to be fine. So you literally have 2 cards in a row now that are like, okay, it's going to be fine. Okay, it's going to be fine, or you're going to overcome the thing that you're fearing. Okay, just take a deep breath. It's going to be fine. Okay, so let's look at the final card. We'll see for sure. We have the Nine of Wands reversed. Okay, now this one's kind of neutral. This can be technically, I would say, either an advice card, or I would read it because of the abundance of like positive cards right before it, with those 2 having been reversed, leaning positive. Okay, so I will say this. Reading Nine of Wands as reversed as a positive card, pile 1, it would mean that in a time where we felt like things were very bare and things were very hard to survive, hence, this poor deer having to sit in the snow underneath these very bare trees. There's really nothing for them to eat except maybe bark, right? In a time where it's felt very barren and hard to get through, that time is coming to an end because of the reversed energy. So once again, too, I don't know if maybe this has even been affecting your finances. Of course, if it's related to your job, maybe you feared that it would for obvious reasons. So that can mean, with that interpretation, it's going to be fine once again. So we have that repetition again, but they're commending you for your ability to survive this hardship, though. They're not saying that this hardship was like meant nothing, or that, that it was nothing to deal with. It's just they're saying with that card then, like, we commend you for the survival of this. Especially after a Ten of Swords reversed, because that's usually a pretty harsh time that you're recovering from, is what that means too. And then if I did read it as one little tiny piece of advice from your spirit guides, pile 1, is the Nine of Wands reversed can warn against complacency and or giving up too easily. Because normally upright it means to be determined or to have that resilience. Okay, so in this situation going forward, yes, you've been assured it's going to be fine. Okay, we'll repeat that one more time. However, if there's one thing they want you to be aware of, it's don't get complacent in terms of your pursuit of this thing that you want, that you think maybe other people sabotaged you for, okay, or that they did for sure. Don't get complacent about it. Don't think, well, everything's all screwed, so I'll just give up, right? They want you to keep fighting for it. That's what that Nine of Wands reversed means as advice. And on top of that, it can also mean just keep an eye on these people, especially if, like you're really resonating with that, say the Five of Swords, Three of Cups, where it's been like a social group or like a work group that's been the problem. Keep an eye on these people. You might want to be still vigilant with them, because here's the thing, and it's unfortunate, but in life sometimes when we come across people that have done us dirty or thrown, say, that dust in our eyes, that dirt in our eyes once, what's stopping them from trying to do it again? Like, that's just, I don't know. That's how people are, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't true, but we all know it is. They're overly ambitious to the sacrifice of other people. There's, what's that image or that saying people always say, like they always step up the ladder using other people's heads as rungs. Like, they just walk over everybody in their way. So just be vigilant with them, and don't be afraid to defend yourself. That's another really good piece of advice with the Nine of Wands reversed. And I think you'll be just fine. So you're assured you're going to recover. It's going to be okay. But don't give up the fight either. Okay? You're not powerless in this situation, especially when it comes to defending oneself. So make sure to defend your own boundaries. Make sure to keep fighting. And you'll see that breakthrough we talked about with the Ace of Swords. So beautiful, pile 1. That was your helpful secret for today is, number 1, the reassurance. It's not all over. And number 2, a helpful secret, keep fighting, because you'll be rewarded for it with this situation. So I hope that reading was, number 1, helpful to you. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you liked it. And if so, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, as Lone Pine Tarot is a very small channel. So every little bit does help quite a lot. And I thank you if you choose to do any one of those 3 things, if not more than one today. And as we say in our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night. And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, pile number 2, my wonderful pile that shows the very beautiful image of the bridge and the figure at the end of it. Welcome to your helpful secret reading. So to start, we're going to put your pile leader over here and read off a combination of tarot and oracle cards just to get some context from your spirit guides on what exactly or what part of your life is this secret stemming from. What's the situation, I guess we could say. So speaking of calling on the spirit guides for pile 2 collectively today, could you tell me more about what's happening around this particular secret? Thank you. Okay, we already have some top contenders here that popped out on the side. I'm drawn to this one first. We have the High Priestess reversed as your first card, pile 2. Speaking of 2, she is number 2 in the Major Arcana. Secondly, we have the Five of Pentacles. I think, don't quote me on it quite yet, but what I'm picking up on based on my intuition in these cards so far, plus your bridge card, I think your spirit guides want to help you with a secret to overcome a struggle that you've been going through. But let's keep going before I say that for sure. We have, yes, Four of Wands reversed, possibly related to your stability or something to do with the home, your place of living. Let's keep going. And then we have the Seven of Wands reversed, feeling like we're surrounded on all sides. Yes, okay, so to summarize pile 2, or to also explain in more detail, your spirit guides are reaching out today with this helpful secret because recently they've recognized that you are going through a pretty hard struggle right now, I can tell you that, especially based on the Five of Pentacles having come out upright. And typically the Five of Pentacles is a situation in life where we feel as if we are struggling, especially with finances or work or our stability, and especially with that combined with the Four of Wands reversed right next to it, because 4 in numerology tends to represent stability, right? Definitely, it's the main theme is it's some struggle you've been having with stability recently, even if it's not specifically about money or career, but the Pentacles card does kind of hint towards that direction. On top of that, we have the struggle of the High Priestess reversed. That usually means that we're struggling with following our own intuition, or we've been asking for signs regarding on how do I fix this, you know, spirit guides, please reach out to me, or whatever other spiritual source you personally prefer, if not spirit guides for this particular question. But it feels like you've been blocked. I think that's also why subconsciously maybe you were drawn to the bridge card as your pile leader, because this particular card represents, as most bridges do, connections between two different sides, okay? It's like you've been wanting this connection with the other side. It feels like your intuition has been blocked. You've been asking for signs, and it feels like that bridge just has not been coming thus far, or at least to this point. I think this reading is when you're going to finally get this thing that you've been looking for in terms of the sign, in terms of the advice, etc. And on top of that, the bridge card in this deck means connection as well. So connecting with your guides, and it also means passage. So on top of the meaning of connection with spiritual things to help you with this, and spiritual beings, etc., it's a card that represents, I think, you're yearning to finally get over this chapter of hardship in your life, pile 2, and then finally feel safe on the other side. Because that's another thing when we cross bridges, we think to ourselves, man, I mean, at least especially if it's like a rickety bridge, kind of like I guess the one in the picture is, we think to ourselves, man, I hope this bridge holds until I can get to the other side safely on firm ground. So I wonder if a lot of you are currently also going through a situation where you've already made attempts to overcome the hardship, but there's something that feels rickety right now, hence that bridge metaphor. So I wonder, like, there's something you might be doing temporarily or something that you have had to do out of desperation, but it doesn't feel like a permanent solution, or it doesn't feel as if it's like something that is reliable in the long run, hence that feeling of lack of stability because of the Four of Wands reversed on top of it. Okay, and then we have the Seven of Wands reversed at the very end here with the last of your context tarot cards, and that tends to mean that we feel, as I said when I pulled it out, surrounded on all sides. I mean, this guy is defending himself to the umpteenth of his ability. He's on the high ground. He's got, like, the moral high ground. He's trying his best. He's being tactful, or thinking, like a tactician about it, I guess is probably a better way to put that. But at the same time, that's a lot of people to fight against. It's just one man against 6. So reversed especially, that's when we feel really overwhelmed. That's when maybe we feel as if we're losing that fight. Okay, so I'm happy to report to you, especially if you've been asking for a sign or you've been trying to follow your intuition and it just has felt blocked, or you feel like your spirit guides have been really quiet lately, this reading is that message finally getting through to you. I wonder if maybe your intuition has been blocked, especially just because you just haven't had time to really connect with the other side much because of all the struggle that's been going on. I mean, that's the thing, is when we get kind of mired in earthly struggles, it's really hard to put away time or to even have the mental capacity when we're so stressed to focus on, you know, looking for signs or looking for synchronicities. And it's possible that they even sent you some, pile 2, but you just missed it because, once again, very understandably, we get so stressed and we're just so focused on survival and earthly things, then how do we even sometimes even have the time to focus on, like, oh, there I saw that synchronicity, and, you know, oh, I'll remember that dream and that thing meant this, you know what I mean? So this is why they're reaching out to you today, is something to do with this. So let's keep going with your other oracle card deck here. All right, well, that one almost came flying out. I think it was this one. I'm feeling drawn to this one, at least. We have, yes, compassion. Your spirit guides have been hearing you, pile 2. It's not that they've been silent on purpose, okay? This is them saying we have compassion for what's been going on. We understand 100%. We see everything. We know this has not been easy. Okay, that's why compassion specifically came out. I'm going to just draw to another clarifier on that. You know, it's interesting because in the very beginning, I talked about in the intro, like, I was really drawn to the image of a spirit guide coming out of, like, murky woods and providing, like, a candle or a light to you, the viewer, to help you through something with this secret. And, like, literally you have a candelabra here between the cat and the witch. Like, we're giving you signs, giving you signals. I don't know, have you been seeing something with candles recently, pile 2? Or, like, smoke? Especially that candelabra is very smoky. Signs in smoke, smoke scrying, I don't know. Let's keep going. Can you give me some clarifier on that, spirit guides? Thank you for compassion. Yes, we have the Hierophant. Now that's interesting. The Hierophant can mean spirituality. So, like, they're saying we have compassion for, like, you feeling as if we haven't been reaching out, or as if we haven't been connecting with you when you've been asking for signs. Sometimes, though, the Hierophant can mean something to do with tradition. Maybe you're typically really in tune with them, but for some reason, as I said, like stress, etc., it's been really blocked. And sometimes the Hierophant can also mean spiritual authority. So I wonder, I feel as if for some reason, for some of you, this might not resonate with all of you, that there was some spiritual authority reason as to why they didn't, like, they couldn't just give the straight up answer. Let me grab one more clarifier on that to be sure, but the Hangman reversed. They wanted you to think it through. And not to say as in, like, they wanted you to have to, like, wait and suffer, like, whatsoever, pile 2, like, not at all, but they wanted you to think it through, because the hangman reversed often means we're struggling to understand a different perspective, or we have to open our mind to something. You know, maybe some of you did see signs and you dismissed them because you thought, well, there's no way, like, that's too much of a freaky coincidence. Like, you wrote it off as a coincidence, but it wasn't. Because that's the other thing with the hangman reversed. It's like having the open-mindedness, but especially next to the Hierophant, open-mindedness with spirituality. But they saw everything. It's not like they weren't watching pile 2. Spirit guides, just one more thing before we pull the main tarot spread. Was it that you guys... Were you not supposed to give them the straight up answer? Because I feel that intuitively. What was the reason, if so, or is that true? Okay, yes, they had to be subtle about it. That's why pile 2. Sorry, I paused for a second there. I've been kind of quiet. Speaking of quiet, though, we have the Seven of Swords. It usually is a card that means having to be sneaky or very subtle about something. It almost feels like a thief in the night, hence he's making away with the swords from camp. They had to be subtle for a specific reason, pile 2, and I'm going to say this on top of that. The Hierophant tells me it's a spiritual authority thing, and usually, at least in my personal belief, when that happens, and when I see that in a tarot reading, what it means for you, the querent, is that there is a life lesson or a life path related thing as to why they couldn't directly give you an answer maybe as clearly as they have with other things in your life. There's something very specific here in terms of life path I'm hearing because of the combination of these cards where they had to be really subtle. They tried to give you hints. I think that's why especially the Seven of Swords came out. They had to be kind of sneaky and subtle about it, but they wanted you, I think, to believe in even more in your intuition, because the High Priestess reverse can also mean a period of time in our life when we have been given things, but we haven't necessarily been paying enough attention to them, or we've been dismissing our intuition. And that's not to say that's your fault whatsoever, pile 2, but as I said, sometimes we get mired in stress, we get mired in distractions because we're just trying to survive. We're trying to do earthly things, as I said, with that Five of Pentacles, but I guess to summarize, what I'm hearing them say is you already have the power and the intuition to know what you already have to do. You already have that bridge to cross. I wonder if maybe, though, there's just a bit of fear about crossing it in terms of, like, there's something slightly uncomfortable about the manner in which you have to do something. Let's grab your main tarot spread. I'm very curious here. This is turning into a very, like, life lesson spiritual reading. Okay. I'm drawn to this one first. We have the Knight of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, that's not Pentacles, that's Branches, which is Wands. I just got this deck today, I'm very, very new to it, so forgive me if I do slip up with the different suits. This is the Knight of Wands, okay, and that usually means we have a feeling in our gut to take action towards something we're ambitious about, or our creativity is something that we care about, we're passionate about. Okay, let's keep going. We'll get more context with the second one, yes, and then we have Judgment. Wanting to move to the next level, wanting to move to the next phase of something. As I said with the Bridge card, that was kind of like the feeling of, like, I just want to leave this chapter behind. I want to go to the next. I want to keep going. But at the same time, too, Judgment can mean that we're struggling to, especially with this particular reading, I just feel like there's something specifically about the way to move forward. It's like you already kind of know how, but for some reason you're reluctant. Like, you know how to level up in terms of, like, getting past this hardship, but, Let me tap in for a second here, pile 2. I'm sorry, one moment. Okay, that's what it is. They're saying you're uncomfortable because it feels like you have to let something go that you don't want to let go of. However, to get to the next level sometimes, or to get to the new chapter, you have to close doors behind you in order to open new ones, is what they're saying. But they wanted you to make that choice, pile 2, because that's in your life lesson or your life path, spiritually speaking, to close that door, to be willing to let that thing go that maybe you kind of felt deep down that you should have let go, or you were thinking maybe letting go of it, but there was something that was still hanging on. especially too when I think about, yeah, judgment is literally, maybe you feared judgment too, like you feared, oh, someone will judge me if I do this thing in order to progress past this hardship. Because sometimes judgment literally means a judgment of some sort. So let's keep going. In your present, we have, okay, yes, the moon reverse. The illusion is broken. A realization, understanding that what was mysterious before is now made clear. All right. Yep, the moon reverse is all about the illusion finally breaking. I think that might be just this, like this reading is opening your eye to something that I was pointing out based on everything I've said so far. And let me look at the particular depiction, because it's a wolf up on a cliff howling at the moon. And it's almost like the mist is drenching off of the moon, because it's like the wind is going past or the clouds. Being made clear. Let me grab just a clarifier on that. I'm sorry I didn't pull your other main tarot cards yet, but I just want to know what's being made clear here with the moon. Spirit guides for pile 2. What's being made clear here with the moon? You had the power all along, pile 2. That's what the 8 of Swords means. It means you felt trapped, but really there was a way forward. It's just that you were afraid to free yourself from something. Okay. And I want to be careful with this particular reading, because especially when it comes to readings, when I'm telling you, like, I'm picking up on there's a hardship, and on top of that, like, however, they're like, when there's a hardship, but your spirit guides are saying, like, there's a way out, you just haven't necessarily fully committed to going that direction yet. Like, I want to be a sensitive, empathetic reader and not being like, well, you could have just bypassed this already if you just had taken that path. Like, I don't want to be, I guess a douche like that, I guess, to put it a blunt way, but that's why I've been kind of hesitating, but this is what I am seeing with these tarot cards. Okay, so, and this is not from like me or your spirit guide saying like, how dare you have, not chosen this path, because they're seeing, especially with the compassion card, they know it's been difficult, pile 2. They know it's been hard to follow this. They know it's been difficult to make this choice. But that 8 of Swords next to the moon reverse tells me for sure that the illusion breaking is the illusion that you are trapped, which once again makes me think of what I was picking up on earlier of, yes, you have the power to go forward. Okay, just for some reason you're afraid to take that particular direction, but you might be kind of inclined, or your spirit guides might be kind of slightly nudging you towards that. Okay, you always have free will, but we have, yes, the Queen of Cups. You know it in your heart. The illusion breaks, you know it in your heart, and now you see the way because it's a lighthouse. And that's the thing, is lighthouses, what do? They help us navigate turbulent waters and dangers at sea, which in tarot, water often represents our feelings and our heart and our connections too. Some of it might even be a relationship that you've been afraid to break away from, but deep down inside you kind of know, well, maybe this isn't the best place for me in terms of, like I'm going through a hardship with this, and I know it might be better for me to leave this particular relationship, or say it might be a job, or say it might be whatever particular situation in your life that you've been having hardship with recently. So the illusion breaks, you know you're not trapped, you have the power, you know it in your heart. And that's also a piece of advice from your spirit guides. Please follow your heart, pile 2. Okay. And then the final card is, yes, speaking of relationships, we have the 2 of Cups reversed. And I will always say you have free will, pile 2. You don't have to do what I tell you. You don't have to do what your spirit guides tell you necessarily. At least in my opinion, because we're here to make choices. We're here to make different decisions. We're here to learn. We're here to grow as souls, is my personal belief. But that 2 of Cups reversed, speaking of relationships, makes me think as if you're being nudged in the direction of maybe cutting off a relationship with somebody or something. So that could be literally a relationship with a person, or it could be a relationship with maybe a job that you've been having a hardship with, or maybe a limiting belief that has been holding you back. It's something about severing a connection somewhere. That's usually what the 2 of Cups reversed means, okay? So following your heart, knowing deep down inside what's right for you, and deciding maybe to separate from something because of disharmony that has been occurring, okay? So, kind of a sensitive reading, I guess is what I want to say. And I say that because I wanted to portray this reading in a way that honors the pain that you have been going through, but also honors the message that your spirit guides are sending you. So I guess to summarize, it kind of almost doesn't feel like a secret reading because it's been more about, it's not really, I guess it is a revelation though, because I guess the helpful secret is, to summarize, is you've had the power all along and you know what you have to do should you want to get past this period of hardship, pile 2. All it takes is trusting that in your heart you know the answer and you know the right direction, like that lighthouse lighting the way past the dangers of the rocks and the shore and the ocean, metaphorically speaking. Okay, and know that your spirit guides are with you the whole entire way, even when it feels like they're not listening, even when it feels like they're not giving you a sign. They've been here the entire time watching you struggle with this, okay? That's why they're giving you this loving, I'm going to say, direction, because they're saying we want what's better for you. So that's why we're encouraging you this way. So that light they're giving you, that helpful secret, is you have the power, pile 2, and it's been in your hands all along. All it takes is the willingness to leave something behind or close a certain door so you can cross that bridge into a better after. Okay? So, my condolences for what you've been going through, pile 2. I hope that's come across, very prominently in this reading, that I do empathize with what you're going through, okay? Just been kind of that tough love reading of like, well, you've had the answer all along, perhaps. It's just you have to listen to your own intuition. You have to listen to what feels right deep down, even when sometimes it feels uncomfortable to maybe follow that path. Because your spirit guides want what's best for you, okay? I want what's best for you too, of course. So, much compassion to your situation, and I wish you many blessings and love and healing on your path past this hardship, okay? So, that was your helpful secret reading for today, pile 2. I hope that, of course, number 1, it helped you and that you liked it and it resonated with your situation, as I always say. And if so, please like, please comment, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, as this is a very small channel, so every bit helps quite a bit. And I thank you if you choose to do any one of those things. And as we say in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night. And I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye, pile 2. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your helpful secret reading. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the very cozy image of the candle on the windowsill figure looking from outside. So with that being said, we'll put your pile leader over here to the left, and let's start with drawing some tarot cards and another oracle card to get some context from your spirit guides as to what part of your life this secret is stemming from. So, calling on spirit guides for pile 3 today, could you tell me more about where the secret is stemming from in their life? Some context, please. Thank you. I'm drawn to this one first. We have, okay, first up to bat is the 10 of Cups reversed. Get some more context with the other cards before I say anything on that. Next we have the High Priestess, but upright. Then your third card for this part is the Knight of Pentacles, upright. And last but not least, we have, feeling drawn to this one, another major arcana with the card of Justice. Okay, lots of important cards here today for you, pile 3. Let me think about that for just one moment. This one isn't coming to me quite as quick as the other piles today, so let's see. Okay, so there's a situation in your life recently where you have been unhappy and or something hasn't turned out to be as smooth or happy as you thought it would be. I say that because the 10 of Cups reversed is, well, upright, it's typically a card of happily ever after, is we're emotionally satisfied with something, especially because of the influence of the cups or water in tarot. And especially too, it can relate technically to a relationship of some sort. It doesn't necessarily mean a romantic relationship, but it can be, but also, platonic and familial. So there's some area of your life recently, your spirit guides are pointing out, where you feel as if it's not the happily ever after you were expecting. And on top of that, I think you've already kind of gotten this inkling because the High Priestess is upright, pile 3. And the High Priestess is all about, well, number one, sometimes mysteries, but also our intuition. And when she's upright, she's in her positive aspect of you have been listening to your intuition about this. However, maybe because it's difficult to accept that it might not 100% be turning out what you expected it to be, sometimes we don't listen to our intuition because it might point us in directions we're not 100% ready to follow quite yet. However, you do have the Knight of Pentacles upright, and you do have Justice upright right afterwards. So I almost wonder if some of you have already actually been taking action on this. Some of you might still be in the stage of kind of feeling it out, kind of being like, well, really, is this, am I just, was I over expectant? Was I expecting too much, or am I actually like unhappy with this thing? Okay, you might still be in that deliberation phase, but some of you, because of the Knight of Pentacles and the Justice card, are already like, yep, this ain't for me. And so you're making very slow and steady progress towards the greater happiness that you thought was going to be with this thing, the Ten of Cups reversed thing, somewhere else, or you're tweaking the dream a little bit at least, or the relationship a little bit at least, to try to find that happiness very slowly. Slow and steady wins the race, as I always say with the Knight of Pentacles. And with Justice here, there's an element of making sure things are right or that things are fair. This might actually also indicate that there's been like a legal battle involved with something recently too. I don't know if it's been a court case, or maybe for some of you this might resonate as you split up with someone that you were married to, and hence that might be where a court is involved. Of course, divorce always requires a court involved to process the separation legally with, whatever government you're living underneath. But, and so there's something in this area of your life that your spirit guides want to give you a secret on, okay? You might already kind of know it because that's the influence of the High Priestess. Because you might already have gotten that intuitive sense. But you might be like pile 2 today, pile 3, where they kind of already had an intuitive sense for something, and their secret was really just their spirit guides reiterating, yes, you're sniffing down the right track. Okay, like your intuition has been a bloodhound. You already kind of know. It's just kind of a reassurance reading of, yes, this is the thing that you know in your heart to be true is true. But let's keep going. Let's draw your other oracle card. We'll get some more context, maybe condense some things down or hone in on a more specific focus than that. And I didn't even talk about your pile leader yet. The candle is, in this deck, representative of, well, like it is, I guess, in most situations in life, light in the darkness, okay? It's about having hope. It's about fighting shadows. It's about, wisdom, because light and illumination is often about knowing things, and darkness will represent, the shadows of unknowing, okay? So I wonder if part of this secret, too, is they want to give you light on something that will make this process here less confusing or smoother for you. That's kind of the intuitive sense I'm getting, but let's keep going. We have, okay, spirit. Being connected to spirit. I wonder... And we have a candle again. Look at that. I just noticed that. But what I was going to say is I wonder, have some of you... I guess it depends on the house you live in. Although I believe there's spirits, like, literally everywhere. At least in my experience. But, have some of you had ghost activity in your homes recently or where you live? Like, I'm not saying poltergeists. Like, maybe not that intense. But, like, ghost activity, ghostly things. I wonder if there's been a spirit recently that's been around you a lot. Oftentimes it is a passed on loved one that's helping you through this particular situation. I'm going to draw a clarifier just to be sure, but I'm feeling there's an element here of a spirit in your life that is part of this process. Or maybe you're getting justice for someone who's passed on. Maybe that's why this spirit is involved. Okay, let's keep going. Spirit guides for pile 3. Could you give me a clarifier on spirit? Thank you. What's that all about? I think I kind of know, but I just want to be sure. We have, oh, that one's quite prominent. We have a Queen of Pentacles reversed, okay. Can mean a feminine earth sign is this particular spirit we're talking about. And or, because she's reversed, that can mean, especially connected to spirit, normally I would read that as in like the negative of the Queen of Pentacles, but connected to spirit I might think to mean that that person has passed on, hence they're in the other side, they're reversed, okay. A passed on tends to be, middle-aged to older feminine earth sign, or someone who is in their lifetime was very either business oriented or very generous with their wealth to you, or they were someone, feminine energy, that was very like motherly in the nurturing way because of that earth element aspect. So a lot of you, this might be a mother or a grandmother or an aunt, something like that in your family. That's kind of what I was picking up on. It's probably a family member that's reaching out to you. And I wonder, have they been messing with lights? Maybe that's why candle has been coming up so frequently. Like lights in the darkness. Let's keep going. And then we have, yes, Five of Pentacles reversed. Either they overcame a lot of financial hardship by the end of their life, and that's why they were so generous, because they knew what it was like not to have much. Or like they're trying to help you with this situation because perhaps financial problems have been an issue with you getting justice, or you overcoming or getting away from this unhappiness of this Ten of Cups reversed. And that's maybe why the process has been so slow with the Knight of Pentacles, because he's the slowest knight in tarot. That's progress taken very kind of at glacial steps, okay? Although sometimes things have to be taken at glacial pace because you want every little loose end to be tied up. And especially when justice is a part of this too, like say a legal battle, a court battle, you want to make sure there's no cut corners, okay? So there's someone helping you with this. They're very invested in this justice. They're, I think, once again, for some of you, they might even be, as I said, haunting your home where you live. I don't see that very often in my readings. I don't pick up on that very often, but I do feel that intuitively, especially because Spirit came out. So, and once again, definitely lots of earth sign energy there because you've got two Pentacles cards there for the clarifiers. Could have been a businesswoman too, or someone who was a manager, very good at their job. Something like that. Okay, so Spirit Guides of Pile 3. Could you tell me more with the main tarot spread? What else do you want to tell them? Because we haven't really gotten to the helpful secret yet. I just realized. I was like, wait, what's the helpful secret here, Spirit Guides, with this situation? Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay, something about needing funds released to you. You need funds released to you in some way. Someone maybe didn't pay someone what they were supposed to. It could be related to inheritance too, Pile 3. Someone was holding on to something, or they were trying to be greedy with something, and because this is the inciting incident card, like what started all of this. It's the releasing of resources. I wonder if that's what they're trying to help you with, is trying to get that money to help you to get this going faster. Especially that Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So if they were generous in life, apparently they're generous in the afterlife too. Look at that. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed again. If there's someone who you know, they passed away in the recent past, because we have that Queen of Pentacles reversed emphasized again here in the recent past position, Pile 3. Yeah, I mean, my condolences if so. I mean, that feels pretty fresh there. Maybe within the last year or two, I want to say. It's hard to tell, because when I say recent past, sometimes that can mean many different things. Yeah. And they're acknowledging that you're going through this struggle once again with finances and like stability here because of that Queen of Pentacles reversed. They're trying to help you get past that. Okay. Then we have the Knight of Spires, which is the Knight of Swords. Yes. Okay. And then we come to the fastest knight in tarot. We went from the turtle knight going really slow to now they're like, we want to help you speed this up. When I get this going, because this literally, I think, is a pilot's cockpit, right? Going really fast compared to, you know, Mr. Slow over here with the Knight of Pentacles, okay? And the Knight of Swords, as I said, too, is an action taker. And he's an action taker, especially when it comes to things regarding the mind, ideas, logic, and, now that we have justice as well, things related to justice, because, as you can see, justice always holds the sword in her hand, okay? They want you to help speed this process up, okay? So now we're getting to the near future. I think this is where the helpful secret's going to come out. So we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Feeling trapped or being trapped in a way that we're not truly imprisoned. It's a trap of the mind. Interesting. Let's keep going. This is quite a mysterious reading today. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles again at the very end as the outcome. What a mysterious spread here today, pile 3. I'm sorry I'm hesitating, but this is interesting. Okay, so we have, yeah. They want to help you get through this faster. And the secret is... Well, I'm sorry, I gotta draw more clarifiers on these. What is this? Okay, Spirit Guides, pile 3, you're confusing me. Or you're just outclassed my tarot reading ability, something like that. Could you give me a clarifier on the 8 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles? Thank you. Okay, I already know this one. So the 8 of Swords. 5 of Swords reversed with the 8 of Swords. Oh. Is it not going to be as hard of a battle as you're expecting? Is that what that is? Okay, let me grab the clarifier for the Knight of Pentacles here. Yeah, not having to make a choice because of the 2 of Swords reversed. Also, Justice is blind. She's got her blindfold. Yeah, she's not technically the Justice card, but we have swords again. Lots of swords. Definitely, I think a lot of you are going through some court or legal thing. The secret is it's not going to be as big of a fight as you're expecting because the 5 of Swords is reversed. That, or if you lose the battle, technically, pile 3, the 5 of Swords can represent, especially reversed, a battle where nobody actually wins. Sometimes it can mean there's a battle where people fight, and literally it's just cutting off their nose to spite their face or shooting themselves in the foot. Like, they're not actually going to win anything over you. Okay? So the secret really is it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. Moving away from this unhappiness and or this court battle thing. And... oh, especially the 2 of Swords reversed with the Knight of Pentacles. Because as I said, he is the slowest knight in tarot. He's about taking action towards progress with finances, career, and stability. And then the 2 of Swords reversed is having no choice. So you basically have no choice that this is going to progress in a way that's positive. So that's the secret today, pile 3. And I now it's kind of clicking with me as to why the candle was the one that you were drawn to, or like based on the meaning of the Oracle card. It's basically, as I said, having hope or having light shed on something or having that light or that hope in the darkness of something that seems really bleak. I guess to summarize, it's not as bleak as you think it's going to be. This is really kind of a blessing reading is what it's turning into. So to summarize, everything that you are unhappy with, that you're trying to move away from, and especially too, if you're going through a legal battle right now, it's not really going to even be a fight. I mean, it's not even really going to draw out as long as you think it will. And it's going to make positive progress in your favor no matter what. And I think especially because you have this spirit in your corner too, who wants to be as generous to you in the afterlife as they were in their living life. They want to help you overcome this hardship. I'm going to just, as a final piece of your reading today, I'm sorry I'm drawing so many cards, pile 3, but this is really interesting. I'm going to ask this specific spirit and not just your spirit guides what it is they want to say to you, especially for those of you that have been resonating with like feeling kind of haunted lately, I guess. So spirit that's been collectively for pile 3 that has been interacting with those of pile 3 who resonate with that. What is it that you've been trying to tell them, or what do you want to say to them? What do you want them to know? Thank you. Okay, we have the 2 of Wands reversed, the 9 of Cups reversed, and we have the Moon. They're trying to tell you something's an illusion here. Something is not what it seems, and it's something regarding delayed plans or the inability to make plans for the future regarding something that is like a wish you thought would not be granted. Interesting. Let me tap in for just 1 second here. I want to make sure I'm getting that right. Okay, just 1 second. Oh, whoever in the situation is very smug, because that is a word that is related to the Nine of Cups reversed. Whoever in the situation feels as if they're really smug and they feel like all of their plans will never go awry, that's an illusion. I think especially for a lot of you that this is related to a court battle or like some money struggle battle. Someone's really delulu about how easily they're going to win. Okay, that's kind of what I'm hearing from this particular spirit. They're smug about it. They think they've got it in the bag, but actually no, it's not even going to be a fight in their favor, and you're the one who's going to make progress. And two, I forgot to mention this, the Eight of Swords oftentimes is, yes, a card of feeling trapped, but the twist on it is often it's a trap that's just in our minds. It's like you think someone has you caged in, but they don't, pile 3. And they're the one that's going to end up looking like a fool at the end, is what I'm hearing from this particular spirit. Like, once again, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. They're cutting off their nose to spite their face, and they're not going to get anything in the end, okay? Like, they're way overconfident about it, pile 3. And you're the one who's going to be fine in the end. Because that's especially what this person wanted to tell you with these cards. And on top of that, having the Five of Pentacles reversed is one of the original clarifiers, because that's the card, as I said, of overcoming financial hardships, okay? So that's the secret today. The helpful secret is they wanted to give you light in the darkness in terms of hope, in knowing that this battle is not won and it might actually go in your favor, pile 3, based on everything that I am seeing, okay? So just be reassured and be relieved, okay, that you have not only spirit guides in your corner, but apparently this spirit too, which I think might be a passed on loved one who went to the other side quite recently. They're reaching out to you today specifically to tell you that. All right. In fact, I wonder if this passed on loved one actually has become a spirit guide of yours. That often happens too. You know, we're connected to people in our particular soul circles, our soul families, whatever term you want to use. And then after they pass on, I've seen sometimes they do transition to your spirit guides or becoming one of yours. Okay. So just look for signs from that person if you already know what signs to look for, because I'm hearing too in the near future that spirit is like there's something, like there's signs that they want to send you or they want you to pay attention to. Specifically, like I said, with the candles, I wonder if it's something to do with like lights flickering, like light bulbs flickering, something along those lines. But other signs, if you've already interacted with the spirit before that you know to be them, pay attention to those, because that's them pointing out things to you with this particular process that you've been going through that's been kind of difficult, okay? So, wonderful. That was your helpful secret reading for today, pile 3. I know we kind of went zigzag, you know, A to B to Z and back again a little bit, but I think by the end it finally made some crystal clear sense. So thank you for your patience with me as I kind of figured that out and we went through the journey of discovering the secret together. So I hope, number 1, the reading was helpful for you, you liked it, and that it resonated with your situation. And if so, please like, please comment, please subscribe if you have done, or well, if you have not done so already, I was going to say, as this is a very, very small channel and every little bit does help a lot with those particular social interactions on, you know how YouTube works, social media. So I thank you if you choose to do any one of those 3 things today after your reading has completed. And as we always say in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or your night, and I hope to see you again in the woods someday soon. Bye, pile 3.